What happens when we are not authentic? You could see the image. What we are actually talking about is when you are not authentic, we are mentally and physically harming ourselves. Initially, it might be a subconscious thing, we may not even realize. The stress that gets created in the mind slowly starts developing diseases in our body over a period of time. Symptoms of anxiety, fatigue, stomach upset, shoulder pain, heart, the list is endless. And today we are actually not discussing about diseases, but when we are not authentic, it does harm us mentally, physically, and emotionally. Now, we, so I'll give you some example, one example for it. Sorry. Okay, an example. My boss tells me, calls me and asks me, gives me some extra work and asks me to do something which I don't do. I'm upset about it, but I am obviously thinking about what he will feel, what will happen to my promotion, and all of those kind of things. And I say, okay, I will get it done. Now this goes on for weeks and weeks together, or months and months together, and slowly I start realizing that there is some kind of an acidity that is happening. There's some issues with digestion that I'm experiencing. I'm not able to sleep well because constantly what's running in my head is that my boss is giving me a lot of work and I'm not able to say no to him also. And because I'm not able to say no to him, because of whatever things that I'm thinking about, that if I go and tell him, he'll get upset, he'll get angry, and it'll impact my career growth, I am constantly allowing that stress to keep coming to me. I have taken care of my boss's well being, but I haven't taken care of my well being. Let me give you another example. We are all locked down at home now, and the women are doing all the work. Initially, the work that they were doing, probably they must have felt we can manage, let's not ask for help. But now as weeks became months, we started realizing that we are getting worn out. Now again, we are unable to say, so some of us, I'm not talking about everyone, but some of us probably are unable to express this out to our family at home, and we keep on doing all that work. But with anything small, anything extra that our family member asks, we burst out. तुमको दिखाई नहीं दे रहा मैं इतना कुछ कर रही हूँ, खुद ले लो, कर लो खुद ही. नहीं होता तो बोल देते, इतना ऐसे क्यों बात करने की जरूरत है? You know, why you being upset when you're saying something like this? सीधे तो बोल सकते हो मैं ले लेता हूँ. But no, I am not telling what the actual reason of my upset is. But when something very non-threatening is also said, something very simple is also said, my balloon bursts. Slowly, slowly, I have allowed that small stress of mine to become a big mountain. And now, with anything and everything that happens, the balloon is just waiting to burst. Now, I could have spoken about this, I could have told about this, I could have been authentic. But what do you think stops us from being authentic? So, sorry, I just opened my next slide. I don't know whether it came on your screens. Can anyone tell me what stops me? So, when I know that it is harmful, I'm asking for responses. When I know it is harmful, when I know that it's not good for me, what still stops me from being authentic? Responses. Our assumptions, wonderful Zara, our assumptions. And what do they lead? Our assumptions and fear of hurting others. Yes. Okay. So if I speak the truth, if I be authentic, I might hurt the other person. Anyone else? Yes, Archana. So I don't want to upset the others. My ego, wonderful, a different response. An ego, my ego, why should I ask for help? The other person is ignoring me, fear of being unleashed with somebody's anger. I want to be perfect. So how can I say? So I can't ask anything because otherwise my perfect image is getting affected. Okay. So you know what? If I ask for help, I am not perfect. If I ask for help, I will only get ignored. Or if I'm going to say something, if I ask for something, or if I'm open and say that I'm helpless, my own ego, so I can't show helplessness because I am perfect. Or saying that if I hurt someone, then I will be feeling guilty about that hurt. So, you know, what are all these things? Fear of not being understood. Yeah, so I will speak. So people don't understand me. Maybe. I will say what I have to say, but who's going to understand? People never understand. What are these statements? So somebody said, Zara said assumption. So the word is that we have developed slowly over a period of time some beliefs in our system, which means slowly, from the time that it first time happened with me, and when I say first time, it could be ages, it could be when I was a child, when I had certain experiences, I constantly kept creating certain assumptions, creating certain hardwired beliefs. These are called as beliefs that if I ask for help, I will lose my perfect image. Or if I ask people, what is the point of saying people anyways don't understand? I when I'm going to say anyways, it's going to get ignored. So people ignore me. I get ignored. If I speak the truth, people will get angry. These are nothing but beliefs that we have accumulated, created, and made it really, and in fact, cemented it in our system over years and years. Now, what we are actually, so today, when we said it's about, so when I started the session, I told you about beliefs. So, what we are actually doing is we are going to see what are these beliefs that we have accumulated over years, and is there a way that I can flip these beliefs? So some of you would have read, or some of you would know, or seen that beliefs are, you can't change your beliefs. So what we are actually going to do now is we are going to work on changing our beliefs, not all our beliefs. We're going to be working on changing our beliefs that don't support us, or alternatively called as limiting beliefs, beliefs that limit our potential. So, first of all, what is a belief? Belief is nothing but an attitude or a certain state of mind or a thought which, over a period of time, we have kept accumulating, and now we believe, or now we have the faith that it is the truth. People don't understand. That's the truth for me. Initially, it began as an assumption, but because I continuously kept validating it, now it's become my truth. People ignore me, my belief. I completely believe that that's the truth. I am not perfect if I ask for help. So not only do I consider myself imperfect, but I also view others with the same lens, that people who ask for help are not perfect people. So I have constantly created these beliefs for myself, and the truth about this belief stops me from operating any different way. This belief that I have created will never allow me to ask for help. And if at all I ask for help, again, a negative emotion of guilt will come. A negative emotion of anxiety will come that I am asking for help. So you would see how, our parents, when they fall sick, or the old people when they fall sick, and we are willing to help them and support them, they will still want to get up and do things themselves. And we will tell them कि रात को उठ के पानी क्यों ले रहे हो? मैं हूं ना, you should have called me, I would have given you that water. But no, they want to get up and take their own water. They might tell क्यों तकलीफ देना है. They may want to show actually it up by saying that I didn't want to bother you. The is with themselves, they want to prove to themselves that they are still existing, and that's why they fight that belief that they have about themselves. So how do beliefs get generated? So I have this slide over here. Okay, so let's see the cycle of how the belief is getting created. So I see something. And the moment I see something, I have no idea. There are some thoughts that, and with that statement, there is a belief that gets created. So I'll give you an example. So I see a dog sitting quietly in the middle of the road. I'm I'm staying somewhere close to that road. From my house balcony, I'm seeing that a dog is sitting on the road. I'm a small girl, maybe a 5-year-old girl or a 4-year-old girl. I see a man coming on his cycle, and the dog starts barking. Now, when the dog starts barking, the man gets down from the cycle and tries to scare this dog. In return, I see the dog pounces on that man. So seeing all of this action, observing all of this action, hearing all that sounds, then the man getting scared and shouting in pain, there is an emotion of fear that comes in me. That there's something that's happening which doesn't look healthy. There's an emotion of fear that's come. And the thought that I created, I should not mess with dogs, or dogs are dangerous. So dogs are dangerous. I should not mess with dogs. Based on that, I create a belief that is dogs are dangerous. Now, this does not happen only at the age of 5. This continues to happen. This belief keeps triggering certain emotions. Whenever I see a dog, I will try to stay away from that dog. But dog is a dog. He will bark, and when he barks, the further reinforces my thought that yes, dogs are dangerous because it's barking. The barking is also scaring me now, and I keep looking at proofs to validate whether that belief of mine is true or no. And it keeps getting true for me every time, because any action that the dog does is seen as a dangerous action for me, and that is further confirming my belief. You would have heard statements from some people who say, तुमको कुछ भी मैं करता हूं तो गलत ही लगता है, या कुछ भी करती हूं तो गलत ही लगता है, तुमको तो गलती ही देखना है मेरे में. So that is again one of the examples of how we are actually seeking evidences that the thought that I have about this person in front of me, that he is wrong or she is wrong, I keep seeking for proofs. Now, let me say I've grown up. Coming back to the dog story, I've grown up. I'm married. My son wants to buy a dog. He really loves animals. He goes to his friend's house, he plays and keeps telling me that he wants to buy a dog. But will I allow him to buy a dog? No. Why? Because I have a belief that dogs are dangerous. I'm not going to be allowing him to buy a dog. I'm going to do everything to tell him that dogs are dangerous and we should not buy. But he has played with dogs. He loves animals. He is a different character. He loves, animals. So he wants to buy a dog. Seeing him sad, I am feeling guilty that I'm not able to fulfill that request of his. But at the same time, I am also going to keep getting angry that why doesn't he understand? I'm trying to tell him so much. I may give him everything else, but the dog is not there. Why is he only stuck on that dog? And for that, there is a tense relationship that gets created between me and my son. Now, that is how beliefs start impacting. I did not even realize that what happened at that time, at that 4-year-old, I did not have the maturity to distinguish or to even make distinctions that the man got down from the cycle and he also tried to harm. But I am not doing that questioning with myself. I am not even going back to that story and replaying that story to see whether there is something that I can change about it. I am just comfortable with the truth that I have created at that age, and consequently with various episodes, that dogs are dangerous. Let me give you another example. I was small. I have seen my mom do all the work. She was a housewife. No, sorry, she was not a housewife. She was a working woman. She quit her job for children and she stayed at home doing all the jobs, the house jobs. And my dad would all go to the office and come back home. He would take care of the finances and everything, and mom would take care of everything else that is required for our comfortable living. Even if she was sick, she would get up, do all the cooking. She would make every arrangements for us so that we are comfortable. Even if she was unwell, she has never asked for help, because she has constantly told me, your job is studying, your job is getting ready for this and getting ready for that, do that. That's what she did with my brother as well. So I have seen her do all of those things, and that is my picture of an ideal mom, or that is my picture of an ideal wife. So, whatever happens, I am not supposed to show, I should not show others my weaknesses. I should not show anyone that I have a pain. Why? Because if I show, then I am not a perfect woman, or I am not a perfect wife, or I am not a perfect mother. She would get up early in the morning and she would do everything before we would get up and keep everything ready for us. Now, that's another belief that I have, that a perfect mother or a perfect woman gets up early, keeps everything ready before others get up. Others get up and get ready. Now, in case if I am, so now when I am not living up to that, or if I don't do something like that, I feel guilty about myself because I feel I am not a perfect woman. I feel I am doing something wrong. I feel that if I am sick, if I am asking help from my husband or I ask help from my son, then I am not being the ideal wife or the ideal mom. So I'm constantly creating that hatred towards my own self. I hate myself for falling sick. I hate myself for asking for help. I don't like myself when I am sick. And in that entire cycle, I express anger, I go through guilt, and there is all negative emotions that keep coming up. So I have a belief, and I don't even realize that it's the belief that is guiding my entire life. Similarly, I have beliefs about other people also, that if, when I am expressing so much love to others, when I am doing so much for others, people should reciprocate back. I create beliefs, some experiences that I have had, that if you do something, you should be, it should be returned back to you. You should get it reciprocated. So I believe people should reciprocate. नहीं तो फायदा ही क्या है? That is where this comes from. That when you do something, you're getting ignored. So these beliefs are limiting our life. These beliefs are, no, these are things that have happened in the past, but I don't even realize that now standing here, I am actually creating a future which is similar to my past. And those beliefs have come from nowhere else, is coming from my thoughts. Overthinking is limiting, yes. Overthinking is also a belief. Half trust on things, yes. These are all thoughts which have led to some belief. Overthinking would probably come for कोई काम करने से पहले सोच समझ के काम करो. Now you've heard so much about thinking and thinking through and all that, that you are not able to now take decisions. I mean, that's the challenge in a corporate world. Most of the appraisals have people saying that they are very bad decision makers. Yes, Munira, experiences do make our beliefs, but that is where we want to hold that to. That is an experience, and we can create new experiences as well. It's not at all tiring to solve our beliefs. It's not at all tiring to change or be stressed about our beliefs. So, specific to overthinking or specific to so what we're going to do now is we are going to see on how we could work on identifying. So first, the first part is, now when we say overthinking is a belief or whatever we identify as a belief, we really don't know whether that is exactly the belief or that is something that we are picking up people around us are saying. So we have to first set a belief on us. So people tell us, so if people tell us so if people tell us that this color does not look good on you, and if I have valued and for me, if that person's opinion matters, then I will take that as the truth for myself, that color red doesn't look good on me, so I will not wear anything that is color red. I need at that point to realize that that is his way of looking at things and this is my way of looking at things. But then we get into another cycle. Why will he say something which is not right? He after all, he loves me, he cares for me. So who is that person who's saying? Have we held him at an authority position, held her at an authority position, given so much power to that person that they are now guiding our life. This entire journey of overcoming the limiting belief is actually claiming our power back. It might take time because for over 30 years, 40 years, 50 years, for some of us, we have constantly looked at opportunities to validate this. So, yes, it is going to take time, but it is progressive. It is a process, it is incremental. All you need to do is take a conscious step towards reversing this. When you say that changing beliefs are tiring, that itself is another belief. So, which means I am starting from a space of difficulty. I am not starting from a space of acceptance. So authenticity is about all of these things, that from what space are we speaking, what space are we actioning, what is my state of mind when I'm doing, what is it that comes out of my mouth, how is my body language when I'm doing it. Okay, so I have a question. What if other person finds absolute value in giving him or her that power? I am trying to take back that power can cause unnecessary friction. So yes, so taking back that power is not taking back in a manner saying मैंने तुमको ये चीज दी है मुझे ये वापस ले लो. Obviously we will have to be careful. So that is where authenticity comes. Being aware, being mindful that I don't trigger reactions, but I trigger responsiveness. So how do I say it in that loving manner, or how do I say it in that compassionate manner? Like, for example, I give you the example of the TV and my son. How am I conveying my message? If I accuse, if I blame, if I make that person wrong when I'm trying to take back my power, obviously there will be frictions. Don't we need guidance and assurance from our loved ones? Of course, we need guidance and assurances from our loved ones. But we also have to allow ourselves that we are also coming with a good bag of various kinds of experiences. So, people, if we are able to keep that only as a guide, if I'm able to keep that only as a direction for my future, then it is good. But if I hold that as the ultimate truth, like for example, a couple of years back, so let's say 20 years back, 30 years back, if somebody came home late at night at 10 o'clock, then it was considered bad. But now there are organizations that are working in those kind of shifts. So you would see that some of our grandparents and all, they are not comfortable with those late night working hours. Even if you tell them that there is a vehicle pick up and drop, they don't consider that to be a healthy thing. So they will guide us, they will tell us, but then they speak from that world. We can listen to their guidance, we can listen to the concern that they share with us. How I choose to respond to that is in my hands. I should be able to distinguish that my grandmother is saying something because she comes from that kind of an environment. So when she stops me or when she corrects me saying that why did you take this kind of a shift, I can tell her, but I don't have to get attached and I don't have to take it on myself. I will change her thought. I will see to it that she understands me. Thank you, Munira. I have Pooja asking me, I think the important issue is to understand the difference between belief and knowing. Yes, the difference between knowing something and believing something as the ultimate truth. So, knowing helps us with being guided and being assured. And when you take it as a belief, then there is nothing that can come to cover that up or to change that, because that becomes an ultimate truth for us. So, we can collect knowledge, collect information, and be guided. But the moment we convert that knowledge to a belief, then there is nothing else that can come and change that for us. So moving forward from here, okay, what we need to now do is we need to break the cycle and create a new understanding or a new knowing for ourselves. And why is that important? Which, for example, I've used about how various kinds of beliefs are there. That I am someone who doesn't know anything. Unless I control, I have everything in my control, I will never be happy. Or people who are happy annoy me. You would know some people, ये तो ज़्यादा ही खुश लगता है, ये क्या है? Why is she always smiling? Or why is he always so excited? It gets irritated. कुछ तो गड़बड़ होगा इसमें, so they irritate me. it is my job to take care of everyone or others. So some people who are burdened with the belief of responsibility, who will say it is my job to take care of everyone, and the moment he or she is not able to reach everywhere, there's going to be guilt, there's going to be anger that starts coming up. So some beliefs that I have put here on the screen. So now the hardwired beliefs, the beliefs that we have are constantly creating some emotions in us. There's anxiety, there's guilt, there's anger, there's helplessness that I feel. Now, anxiety, when I develop fear in myself, I might fight that, I might become a rebel, or I might become a darpok and I might stay. If I'm going to be feeling guilty, there's a constant feeling of being worthless and not good at anything. If there's anger and resentment whenever I speak something, whenever I say something, because I'm always blaming, I'm always trying to fit the other person in a certain paradigm that I have created. So there is always a right and a wrong, not my way. Helplessness, I create helplessness for others. I don't give them choice at all. I want to control everything. I People, when they are working with me or they're talking to me, they feel helpless because probably my belief is that I have to control everything, only then I will be happy. Now these emotions create a lot of diseases. You would some of them are doctors over here. No, anger is a root cause for cancer. If you're talking about guilt, if you're talking about fear affects a lot on our liver. Controlling comes from responsibility, isn't it? Depends on how are you framing it. Controlling comes from responsibility. Yes, so somebody's belief might be that I have to control because I am a responsible. So I have to take the responsibility. So the best way I can make sure everything is going as desired under my responsibility is controlling things. Sometimes we have no choice. That is also a belief, Mudira. I have no choice sometimes. That's also a belief. Choices, the word choice itself means that there is something that exists all the time. Am I willing to look at it? Am I willing to see that there is an other side? Unfortunately, we are so tuned to these kind of beliefs, so comfortable with these. If I take away guilt, then I don't know what else I can replace it with. And because I don't know what I can replace it with, I prefer to be in the guilt. You would have heard about that saying, a known devil is better than an unknown devil. So when I'm trying to change, and we're going to talk about change in the next session, the session after the next session, sorry. So we're going to talk about embracing change. But yes, when we are trying to work on our beliefs, it's actually asking us to change, being willing to change. So if I'm willing to change, there is going to be some discomfort. And that discomfort is required if I am looking for a new future. Else, our future is going to exactly be the way my present is, because I have not changed anything. My thoughts are still the same, my patterns are still the same, my beliefs are still the same. So you really don't have to look at or worry about how your future will be, because what your past and present has been, that's exactly how your future is going to be if we don't do something to work on these limiting beliefs of ours. If I want to create abundance for myself, if I want to create happiness for myself, I need to look within. I don't need to look external. I need to look within. And trust me, when beliefs change, that's the journey, or that's the beginning of self love that we speak. When they change, things start automatically fitting themselves very beautifully. And we will see that slowly, we will be seeing that. Not entirely in this session, but that's what we are creating. So going forward, now we're talking about diseases. So there is so when yeah so, sorry when I have these beliefs that I should do something, when there are expectations from my own self and I don't live up to that, the kind of emotions that I accumulate is anxiety and guilt. And when I have expectations from people and it does not get filled, or they should behave in a certain manner, the emotion that I develop in myself is anger and resentment, or helplessness, creating helplessness in others. Now, what I request, there's one slide which I've put in just to show that how that anger affects the liver, grief affects the lung. worry, stomach, stress affects them. This, I've just been some of the metaphysical level, we are going up to the emotional level, and we are now talking at that level, the holistic healing. I'm not saying don't take those medicines, but while you're doing that, there is also parallelly something that you need to do with yourself. What does a belief that I don't want to be controlled mean? The meaning of beliefs is something that you will have to look through in your stories that you have created. For me, it simply means that when you don't want to be controlled, you will make sure that you plan things for others, you create what people should be doing, you decide for others what is good or bad, and you decide, obviously, when others tell you something, you're not be willing to listen to that because you want to be in control of your decision. What does it mean? I don't want to be controlled. So probably there must have been some experience or something in the past that would have happened where when you gave the control to someone else, or when you saw someone else being in control, something would have gone wrong. Something would have not gone as expected. Some negative things must have happened around you. And because of which you have now, over a period of time, created a belief that I don't want to be controlled. So the moment you feel that somebody is trying to control you, the relationship will become toxic. Okay, so now I have a request to all of you. What I want you all to do is, like I said, that you could keep some paper pens with you, paper pens and notepads with you. What I want you all to do is, I want you to just write down at least the two statements, top two statements, top two thoughts on I should. Just complete it. I should dash and people should dash. So, what are those two top things that are running and guiding your decisions, guiding your behavior? So, for example, so for me, it could be that I should get up early in the morning. So, there is one belief that guides me, the one should statement, the thought that guides me, or I should always, so whatever I do, I should be valued. There is a should for me over there. With people should listen to me. People should reciprocate. Maybe those are some kind of people should beliefs that exist. So I want you to just make a note for yourself. I should be always doing the right things. Yes. So now this is a thought. I should be always doing the right thing. So what do you think is the parallel belief? For example, what is the belief that has got created? So for example, I'll give you my own examples. When I say that I have to add value wherever I go, I should add value wherever I go. So the parallel belief is if I don't add value, I am worthless. I should always make everyone happy. So if I don't make others, what is the belief that is associated with that thought? I should always make everyone happy. So the belief is that if I don't make people happy, I am not a good person, or I'm not a right this, or I'm not a right that. So identify, so take 2 minutes, all of you. In your notes, you could actually write down what are your I shoulds, two statements on I should and two statements that what are the belief. So I should be fearless while speaking. So probably if I'm not fearless while, so other the associated belief. So if I'm not fearless, then I'm not going to be considered a good speaker. Or fearless speakers are good speakers. If I don't do the right thing, I may harm myself or others. So do things only when you are very sure about it. So you may not get into ambiguous situations. You may not get into. I should study daily. Yeah. So 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 thank you, people. I should respect elders. So if at all, so, and what is the definition of respect? I should respect elders by listening to them, by being quiet when they speak. I should be so what does respect mean for you? because that is where the belief will come. So, which means that if somebody says something, what is your definition of respect? I should be less lazy. I should be calmer. And what is the associated belief? If I'm not calm, people will not like me. If I calmfully don't do my job, it will not get done. What is the belief associated with it? I should work hard in every task for better result. Yeah, so the belief is, so I will fail at tasks if I don't work hard. Or maybe the belief is hard work gives result. If less lazier, I'll be achieving more in my work. Yes, I should be less lazy. Yeah. So then I feel less lazier. So I have to, so active people get results, more results. I should always be a winner. I should be successful in whatever I do. I should always be a winner. What's the associated belief? The corresponding belief, I should always be a winner. So the belief will be, if I am a winner, I am happy. Or if I'm a winner, I'll be considered the best. Or winning is what gives success. Or winning is what gives me peace. So yes, so here we have highlighted all the negative beliefs, the unhealthy beliefs. Just let me also remind you that there could be beliefs which are also positive. And how would you know that? So now so the statement which Miss Lata Shetty made, that I should be respecting elders. Now you could actually check that I should always respect elders. Now it could have two kinds of reactions. It could be having a positive reaction also, that because of that statement of I should respect my elders. There could be positive outcomes also, that I am quite mindful about what they want. I don't argue back with them, but I say my things in a very different manner. However, there could also be some other negative reactions to it. That is, you might, in the effort of living up to I should respect the elders, I probably will never tell them that if I have a different thought, if I have a different opinion, if I have a different example to share which can help them see it differently, I will never do that. And just because I have to respect them, I will quietly do what they are asking me to do, even if it means harming my own self, even if it means I'm feeling hurt. So I should just be careful about what belief do I consider as my limiting belief. So beliefs could be positive, beliefs could be negative. Yeah. So honest people are not, so fake people, if people are not honest, they are fake. Yes, of course. So the belief would be something else, Deepa, because here it's just the opposite that you have written. If you are not honest, they are fake. So the belief could be, it's don't work with fake people, or don't work with dishonest people, or I don't trust dishonest people. Dishonest people cannot be trusted at all. So the belief would be something else. People should respect different body types. Yes. So okay, so wonderful. So what we'll do now is, I think you've got the gist of the shoulds now, and I'm hoping that you have made a note of it apart from the chat. Now, what I'm going to ask you to do is, I am going to ask you to replace your shoulds with the coulds, which means, how do I want you to say it? You have spoken about I shoulds and people should. So, I will say, I should always think positive. That's what Yachna has written. So, let me replace it. I'll replace the should with a could. And how will I frame my sentence? I'll also prefix it with something saying that if I really wanted, I could always think positive. If I really wanted, I could always think positive. Similarly, if people really, now I want distinctions. The moment you say, I should always think positive, and the other place you're saying, if I really wanted, always think positive. only one thing. I could be responsible. I could be honest.